Dug this guy right out of the rocks. Out here just really doing a lot of running around today. He's just a little one. Just doing a lot of running around. I haven't been out here in about 3 weeks. So I've been doing a lot of just looking at my my graph, my 2D sonar, just trying to figure out where some of the bait is. I'll give you guys an update out here on the conditions of the lake and maybe some bait recommendations for coming out here. Right now I'm just throwing a small jig, and as I was pulling it up, he took it basically as I was swimming it back. So it's Dalton, everybody. I'm just out here fishing. I just want to let all of you know I sure thank you for the reaching out to me on that video I did. Well, today's Monday, it'd be yesterday, and I appreciate all your prayers, and it's just really good to know you're praying for me. I appreciate that. Now, let's see if I can get another one. I'm going to try. This is about what it's been today, about this size, guys. Nothing real big. Nice little thump on that jig. And I'm gonna sit down here in a little bit, give you guys a report as I see. All right, everybody, let me kind of put together a report here. This is Monday. It's December the 4th. And as many of you know, yesterday my wife and I shared our 35th wedding anniversary. Absolutely love her. I'm gonna try to get her out here this week before I have to go have my surgery, and hopefully we'll get a few fish. It's kind of funny because I did a video. It was in another area not long ago. It was the one I did on the jig and the jig trailers and that kind of stuff. And I was sitting up in the front of the boat and my back to the bank. What I basically did is I found a little muddy area and I just kind of drove the boat up on it and it stays in place. I was uncomfortable the whole time I did that video, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of deer out here, and when there's deer, there can be mountain lions. And I have been told there's at least one mountain lion around. And if he's going to come at me, I'd rather see him coming than have my back to him. So I do keep an eye on it. I've not seen him, but if I ever do, I'll let you know about it. So let's talk about what's going on at the lake. All right, water temperatures right now. I got out here on the water around 9:30 this morning. That's my typical winter program. I know may not officially be in winter yet, but it's getting colder in the morning, so I come out a little bit later and I'll fish a little later in the afternoon, and I do like that. I like it to be a little bit warmer, not as much into that super cold weather like I used to be. So I got out here about 9:30. Water temps were 57 degrees, so I haven't been out here in like 3 weeks. So the water temperature went down from probably around 61, 62 to about 57 since the last time I was out here about 3 weeks ago. And as you know, it's holiday season. It's going to be incredibly busy. It already is. There's a lot of things that are great about holidays. You get to be with family and you get to give presents and get presents and all that good stuff. But I can tell you right now, I lie to myself every year. I gain weight. I mean, I just gain weight. It starts Thanksgiving. It's going to go all the way through New Year's. I tell myself every year I'm not going to do it, and I go and do it anyway. Okay, let me get back to what I'm saying. Water temperatures around 57 degrees. Lake clarity, very good. I mean, you can see 3-4 feet in some areas, so you're not going to have any problem with lake clarity. It's really good. As far as the level, I checked. I believe it's around 57%. So they're holding the lake really good this year. And so far we haven't got any real big rains or anything. And if we do, with them holding the lake at this around this, close to 60%, I'm anticipating the lake's not going to get as muddy. because not as much runoff is going to come in because the lake's not that low. So that's a guess, not 100% sure. Now, let me give you some bait ideas and some ideas of where to fish. First of all, where to fish. These bluff walls. This is the time now that, and I'm not saying it's the only place to catch them. I'm just saying that I have a lot of confidence in this lake in the wintertime fishing rock. Bluff walls. Today, the bass that I caught today were all shallow. They were anywhere from 5 to 10 feet. That's pretty shallow for out here. Sometimes they get way out deep. And there's some out there deep as well. But I'm going to say 5 to 10 feet and bumping rocks with a jig. That's pretty much the way I caught them today. So in the wintertime, I really do like to fish out here around the rocks and bluff walls. I'm going to give you 3 ideas right now that I think are pretty effective for catching them. First of all, no particular order, but one of them's a Texas rig worm, okay? A Senko style bait, and Texas rigged on anywhere from an 8 to a 3/16 ounce weight. And I use this to get deeper into those rocks where the jig starts getting hung up. That's when I'll start throwing this. Now, I do want to show you guys, you know, I used to be just straight Yamamoto Senko, and it was the only thing I would ever use as far as a stick bait. Then I started making my own, wound up not liking them. And I have actually gone to the Bass Pro brand. This is Bass Pro Sticko. It's a little more worm. It's a 5 3/8 inch. This is sprayed grass, one of my favorite colors. It's a pretty heavy worm. I've watched how it sinks. And the key to this, guys, is just you save a lot of money. I mean, a bag of Senkos for 10 of them, depending on where you buy it and tax it all, you're almost paying $1 a worm. At Bass Pro, you can pick up 16 of these for like $7-something, and they have 5 colors where they have 30 packs for like $11. So it's just a much more efficient. They're a little stronger than a Senko, and I wound up really liking these a lot. But a Texas rig worm is a good idea. In the mornings or late afternoons, or when you get a little bit of wind, I would throw a crankbait. Once again, rocks, bluff walls, banging these crankbaits. This one here is a shad color. I'm probably going to switch more to a brownish color, maybe a little bit of brown and orange for the wintertime. I do a little bit better with that. But here is your number one bait. Here is my number one bait right now. A couple of buddies of mine from Kern County are out here fishing today, and they did really well this morning. They got here first thing this morning. They did really well on a jig. And a jig is just going to be the key bait for me. I've said this, you know, in my jig videos already. I will be throwing a jig all winter long out here. So don't be surprised, you know, when I do videos, it's going to be another jig video, because this right here, to me, is absolutely the golden standard for winter fishing out here in the rocks. This one here is a simple setup, a little 1/4 ounce ball head jig, peanut butter and jelly color. And I've got a Zoom speed craw on there. I don't know what color that is, but it's got some green pumpkin, green, purple. It's got all kinds of colors in it. Spotted bass-like colors. So I give it to them. 12-pound test line, because I'm throwing a 1/4 ounce. Now, when I get in these rocks, and it's going to get deep in those rocks, then I am going to prefer a lighter jig. Maybe on a spinning rod with an 1/8 ounce or a 1/4 ounce. And if I'm throwing an 1/8 ounce, I'll typically use like 8 or 10-pound test. And when I'm throwing a 1/4 ounce, I like to use 12-pound test. Some people don't like that on a jig. They think that's too light a line, but I've never had any problems with it. This is just my short little Okuma rod. It's got a nice tip, and just dragging it and bumping the rocks. That's the key. And as I'm bumping those rocks, I'll feel that tick. And there he is. So a lot of these fish on my 2D sonar are on the bottom. And I didn't run across any big schools, not to say there isn't any, but I didn't run across any. And I would catch a fish here, I would catch a fish there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, before I go home today, I'm going to go and look at some docks. Got a little crappie set up, and I want to see if the crappie are biting right now around those docks. And if they are, I'll let you know about it. And but right now it's just bass in the rocks, jig. It's the only thing I caught them on today was the jig. I threw other stuff, nothing. I'd throw a jig, and I would catch them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this report. And, you know, as always, I appreciate all of you. My wife and I both appreciate all of you. And thank you for all the kind words that you've shared with me over the last day. And believe me, it is well appreciated. I will give you an update when I'm at Stanford, and it'll be sometime in the middle of that week. And I'll do it on my cell phone because we won't have the computer with us we need for the GoPro and all the editing. So we're going to have to figure out how to do it from the cell phone, but I know it can be done, and we'll have that figured out. Once again, thank you so much. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We love you all. I'll talk to you next time.